When you read the story of Joseph, Yosef, you can't help but raise an eyebrow or two and ask, what in the world is he doing? He gets sold as a slave at the age of 17 to the chief executioner of Egypt, Potiphar. The Torah tells us that his master Potiphar saw that God was with Yosef. Now that's an awfully strange thing for the Torah to tell us. This is ancient pagan Egypt. Potiphar didn't believe in God, certainly not Yosef's God. So what's the Torah telling us? Rashi, the greatest of the commentators, explains that God's name was constantly on Yosef's lips. We all know people like that. You say to somebody, Joe, how you doing? He says, Baruch Hashem, thank God. Hey Joe, you going to be at the meeting tomorrow? Yeah, in Yirtz Hashem, God willing. Now, I can understand that nowadays in certain situations, but Yosef, perhaps the only Jew in the entire ancient Egypt, constantly mentioning God's name in front of his master. Soon thereafter, his master's wife casts her eyes at him and she tries to seduce Yosef. He pushes her away. He says, I can't engage in an adulterous affair with you. First of all, I'd be betraying my master Potiphar. That's reasonable. And then he goes on and he says, and how can I sin against God? Because she cares about God or recognizes his God? Then it gets even crazier. She accuses him falsely of assault. He gets thrown in an Egyptian dungeon and he identifies himself there to his fellow inmates as a Jew. What's he doing? How do I know that he does that? Because in this week's Torah portion, when the wine minister tells Pharaoh, oh yeah, there was this kid, this fellow convict in jail who was Jewish, we see that Yosef obviously had identified himself that way. If you get thrown in an Egyptian dungeon, you don't ask for the kosher meal plan. Why is he risking life and limb by identifying himself as a Jew? And then, when Pharaoh pulls him out of jail, he says to him, I've heard it said about you that you could interpret dreams. And he contradicts Pharaoh. He says, oh no, God will respond to the dreams of Pharaoh. What's he doing? Perhaps, I think, what he's doing is that he's telling us, throughout all the future years of Jews living in foreign countries, sometimes in uncomfortable situations, that no matter what profession you're in, even working for the chief executioner, no matter who your significant other is, Potiphar's wife, no matter where you're living, even in an Egyptian dungeon, no matter who your boss is, even Pharaoh, don't ever back down, even if it's risky, even if you have to stick out your neck, show that you're proud to be Jewish. And so how appropriate is it that Yosef's story always falls out during the holiday of Chanukah, the one holiday where we're told under Jewish law that you must identify your home as a Jewish one. On Rosh Hashanah, you don't have to blow the shofar outside. On Sukkot, you don't have to shake the lulav outdoors. You have to build your sukkah outside, but you can do it in your backyard. There's no law that says that other people, neighbors, have to see it. But on Hanukkah, you've got to put that menorah in your front window or on your front porch and announce to the world that this is a Jewish home. And for the first time in my life, I had 3 different friends tell me that they're worried about Hanukkah. They're going to light their menorahs, but they're concerned. They're concerned about putting their menorah in their front window, given the recent spate of attacks against Jews in the United States. And that to me is horrifying and deeply troubling. The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom sent a message out to British Jews, and he hit on this point. Here's some of what he said.
And it's time to celebrate not just the miracle of the oil, but also your unique identity. To pop the Hanukkah menorah in the window and say to the world, I am Jewish and I'm proud of it. And that's really important right now. Because I know that recent years have not been easy ones for British Jews. In the media, on the streets, and particularly online, anti-Semites have in alarming numbers been emboldened to crawl out from under their rocks and begin once again to spread their brand of noxious hatred far and wide.
The Prime Minister of Britain is right. It's even more important than it ever was to put that menorah in your front window or on your front porch, to announce to the rest of the world, the non-Jewish world, and to your fellow Jews that you're proud that you're Jewish. Because if you don't, if you get scared, if you shy away from lighting that menorah in your front window, then our enemies win. We can't let that happen. Have a wonderful, enlightening, Jewish pride-filled Hanukkah.